What's up, guys? It's Will here, back again, and today we're here to do something very exciting, and that is to do a full preview video of the Dune 1/6 scale Paul Atreides figure from InArt. Guys, before we get started, make sure to click that like button, click the subscribe button, and click that notification bell down below so you're notified when content goes live on this channel. We cover all things news and 6 scale collecting, of course reviews, other big picture topic videos that you want to see, so all of that is going to be found on this channel, so you're going to want to make sure to subscribe, and of course comment and click the notification bell and all that good stuff down below. Guys, we got some exclusive photos from InArt that we're going to share regarding the Paul Atreides figure, and I think there's a new level of hype surrounding this Paul Atreides figure just because Dune 2 has recently dropped in theaters and the buzz is off the charts. It's doing well with the box office. The reviews are absolutely out of this world. The fans are saying this is one of the best films, not just sci-fi films, but best films ever made. I had the chance to see it yesterday and I absolutely loved it. I really liked Dune Part 1. It was good, but Part 2 just takes things to a whole nother level. It really is a masterpiece. I'm not gonna lie. It is really, really, really good. So if you haven't already checked that out, I would highly recommend going to check out Dune 2 in theaters. Guys, let's jump into some of the specifics here, because with this InArt figure, those who have collected excuse me, I can't speak today because I'm sick. Any InArt figures before, if you collected any InArt figures before, then you would know that they've never really done a worldwide license like this. This figure is licensed worldwide, so you can purchase it directly from InArt. That's a big change from before. Before, we were purchasing it from 1/6 Kit or other similar places because it wasn't licensed in the United States. Now it is, and we have a worldwide license here. So there's a link in the description below if you're interested in this figure, and there's a code that I'll put in the description below to give you 5% off. So I'll explain what that means in a little bit, but there's two different versions here. There's a deluxe version with rooted hair and a standard version with sculpted hair. We're going to go into each, but we're going to start with the deluxe version, which is the rooted hair. So I would say the thing that most people want to know right up front is how much is this figure going to cost you, right? So you can pay a deposit, which is $90, and then you would owe $385 plus shipping later. Shipping is flat rate shipping in the USA. I'm not sure how much that's going to cost. It shouldn't be much, tops $50 to $75, something like that, considering it's shipping from overseas, but nothing crazy. You can also pay in full, $475. $475 is the total price, so you can pay a deposit now and pay the rest later, or pay in full up front. So I have a code in the description below. Excuse my voice, by the way. I'm still sick and working through that. So I'm going to get the preview done for you guys regardless, but I've been sick all week and it's been throwing my life off. But there's a code in the description below, 5% off, and it'll give you 5% off either your deposit, so 5% off $90, or 5% off $475 if you decide to pay in full. So that's totally up to you. But InArt has graciously provided us a code that we can use, so that's in the description below. It's just Will. WILL when you put that in. But anyway, so $90, we can see here, there is an exclusive accessory that comes with this Paul Atreides figure, right? So if you buy directly from the InArt website, you get this Muad'Dib, if I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I just saw the film yesterday, but some of the pronunciations are a little bit tricky. So Muad'Dib, one of those two, right? It's this desert mouse, right? Which is actually very important in Dune 2. Dune 1 to a degree, but honestly, in Dune 2, this is really important. So I think I definitely will display that mouse, which I'm going to show you guys some pictures with my figure when I go to display it. So you can see here what comes with the figure. So one calm expression with rooted hair, one still suit, fully articulated body, a set of clothes, shoes, 9 interchangeable hands, 13 accessories, and 1 magnetic base. So there's a bunch of other stuff on this website too that you guys can look at. We'll go through some of the photos here, but everything is listed for you if you're looking for the information. The product availability, it tells you the delivery date, Q2 2025, so Q2 of next year. That's about a year. That's pretty reasonable. So I want to take a look at some of the photos here. So I'm going to switch my sharing of my screen to a different window here, because like I said, we got a bunch of exclusive InArt photos that I want to share with you guys that were not posted publicly, but we have them. So we're going to make sure that we go over everything we need to go over with this figure. So you can see here, this is a product shot that many collectors really love, because you get a shot of the figure and everything that it comes with, everything that's included. So you can see here the additional robe. There's actually, it looks like to me, this is a part I'm still a little fuzzy on, which maybe I need to talk to InArt or someone about this second head sculpt here. It looks to me like this is a masked sort of balaclava look, where you can put the hood on him and have that sort of different type of varying look that he wears in the desert quite often. You do have the one rooted head sculpt. You have the thumpers that they use to get the worms out of the you know, out of the desert and then get them in, above ground. So that's pretty cool. You have those. You have a bunch of different hooks for doing different things. You have the blades, which Paul fights with pretty often. You even have a blaster, so to speak, Star Wars terms, but it's a rifle essentially. A bunch of other cool accessories, some hands, and of course Paul's backpack for surviving in the desert. But you have the magnetic base, which I think looks really cool. It has sort of like almost a brick look. I'm not sure exactly what this is. It doesn't look like sand to me, so I'm not sure what exactly they're going for here. But this is Dune from Paul 1 we have to remember. Sorry, Paul from Dune 1 that we have to remember. So it's a little bit different of a setting overall compared to what you get in Dune 2. But yeah, this looks really, really great. I'm definitely going to use this robe here on the right to display with my Paul. I like the still suit by itself, but I think the robe just gives it that extra sort of oomph and authenticity and shelf presence. So I'm with that look for sure. I do like the sort of balaclava look or whatever, but that head sculpt is so good, I don't want to cover it up too much. I do like this mask, though. I may end up using that. I hope they pad it with some sort of padding so you don't scratch the head sculpt at all. But this looks great. It comes with a pretty decent amount. Obviously, $475 can feel expensive if you have not purchased a rooted hair figure in the past, but I will say that's a pretty reasonable price nowadays, considering, you know, a lot of hot toys are getting up in the $300+ range, and we have rooted hair and we have die-cast accessories and stuff like that. So it definitely starts to make sense after a while. So here's a better look at the accessories here. You can see the blade, the sheath, you know, like I said, the hooks, the Wadaib, the mouse, which I think is really cool, which you can only get to the InArt website. The thumpers, like I said, and a bunch of other cool stuff there. There's some more shots of the accessories. I think that's really cool. There's the backpack, also really great. More backpack stuff. Let's see here. So we have more of the accessories. And honestly, it gives you a close-up of every single accessory, which I think is really great. Because again, you get to see all the details in the paint apps as far as the prototype is concerned, that you're not going to see this type of stuff when they're releasing general product photos. So again, guys, stay subscribed to this channel. We'll have some exclusive photos like this to share with you guys. But it gives you a really detailed close-up of all of this stuff, which I think is really cool. And, you know, collectors are always going to be different. Some collectors are very much accessorizers. They love using different accessories and pulling off different poses, making things feel lifelike as possible. For me, I generally tend to use a few accessories here and there and find something I like and then stick with it. I really love this mask. It does look like it has some sort of fabric. The only thing I would worry is maybe about staining on the head sculpt, so we'd have to see how that shakes out in actuality. But I do love the mask look, by the way. So putting this mask on him is going to be very tempting because I think this is going to look just badass when you have him with that mask look. There's the sheath and, of course, his blade. May that blade chip and shatter. So, yeah, you guys will see, but I think it's a pretty cool accessory there. The sheath looks pretty great. A lot of detail going on there. And of course, these are the hooks, I believe, that you use to ride a worm. So I think that's really great. I would love to ride a worm. So I think that would be pretty cool. But here's one of the guns, the blasters, the rifles, whatever you want to call them. I think that's pretty cool. And of course, the star of the show, Muad'Dib. I think the Muad'Dib. I'm probably pronouncing it incorrectly, so chat, you guys have to let me know down in the comments. But yeah, excuse my ignorance on that one. I did just see the movie yesterday, but there's so many different pronunciations. And Lisan Al-Gaib, I'm not sure. That's another one, but I don't want to spoil anything from the movie, so you guys will see that when you get through there. But there's the thumpers, which they put into the ground to, like I said, bring the worms out. For strategic purposes. So there's the robe. I think there's a lot of cool weathering on that. You can see the sort of desert sort of weathering there, I guess, for lack of a better term. It's just sort of like browning, like sort of fading. I think that looks really cool. It gives it a nice little wash over that I think makes everything look nice. So let's take a look at some of the hands. A lot of detail on the hands. You can see the Atreides house ring, which is really cool. So that's a nice little touch there. And there's a lot of detail in that. The gloved hands also have a lot of detail. These are going to be magnetic, similar to previous InArt figures, where they just, you do peg them in, but they have a magnet to kind of more securely hold the hands in place. And I think those can still be improved, to be honest. Like, they're good. They're holding pretty well with each new release. But I think over time, we're going to want to see a little bit more stability with those, particularly when the character's holding a heavy weight-wise accessory. I really like this base. Simplistic, kind of gives me like a J&D vibe, unfortunately. But I really like the text here and the, the lettering and the font and all that. So a lot of good weathering on the base there, as you can see. So I think this base has a lot of cool texture and a lot of cool elements involved. But there's the boots and, of course, the articulation there. It looks like a sort of I guess it would be, I don't know if this would be technically a split cup boot design. I'm not always good with the technicality stuff, but I will say it looks great. The detail in the suit itself is great. And I'm not a huge articulation guy because I don't usually push my figures to the limit when posing them. I generally tend to go with more character poses, things. I will go with a dynamic pose if the character calls for it, like a Darth Maul. But more often than not, I like something simple that looks like the character is just kind of looking badass standing there. So that's generally what I would go with. But you can see the amount of weathering and detail on the outfit, like the rips and sort of the tears and just the general weathering. And just the amount of detail there and just the paint apps is pretty remarkable. There's so much going on here. And I do think, I really hope that this prototype comes out, this final product comes out looking as good as this prototype because it looks really, really great. You have a hood there that you can probably have a wire in, I'm assuming that you can, put that over his head and, pose it however you see fit. But most people are probably going to leave it behind his head. But I guess we'll see how that turns out in actuality, in practice. But yeah, this looks really, really great. I think this outfit's going to be great. I think it's going to move pretty well. There is the head sculpt. I think this looks absolutely awesome. Is there a little room for improvement? Maybe a little, right? I think this is probably like a 9 out of 10 head sculpt. I think it's really, really good. The rooted hair is great. You're going to have to mess with it just a little bit out of the box, but InArt's done a pretty good job so far. And make sure you don't have to do a too crazy amount of futzing. Maybe take a little spray bottle of water, spray it, and then you're good, but nothing too crazy, right? So there's another shot of Timothée Chalamet's Paul Atreides, Lisan Al Gaib, Muad'Dib. So those are, and then Usul, but yeah, which I do remember because that was easier to pronounce. But there's the head sculpt again, the rooted hair head sculpt, and a lot of really, really good work has gone into this one, clearly. So Q2 2025, I think this looks absolutely great. You get some really, really good shots of the head sculpt here. Sorry guys, I'm still dying, unfortunately. But yeah, so I think this looks great. This is really going to pop on a shelf. I think you put the cloak on him, and it's really going to take it to even the next level. So again, I think the question for a lot of people is, if you saw Dune 2 and really loved it, some people feel like, man, maybe I should wait for a Dune 2 figure from InArt. Yeah, maybe, but the problem then becomes, well, when is that even going to be announced, if at all, right? That could be years away. That could be at the pace InArt is moving, which is releasing maybe like 3 to 7 figures a year, right? Announcing maybe 5 figures a year. A Dune 2 Paul Atreides is probably not on the immediate horizon. So, if you do want a Paul, I think you could get this one and make it look really great on your shelf. But if you do want to wait, I totally understand that too. But I just feel like you're probably going to be waiting quite a while. Would be my speculation, but I don't know. So, but guys, I think this looks really great. Again, $475, I think that's reasonable. I had a couple people I was hearing from telling me like, oh, I think it might be like $325, $350. I was like, no, I don't think so. Just because with the rooted hair, no. And anytime you have a worldwide license like that, in my experience, it tends to make things a little more expensive. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe it's anecdotal, but that's just been my experience with it. So yeah. I think this looks really great. We'll take a look at the sculpted one. And guys, if you are interested in this figure, by the way, like I said, I mentioned, there's a link down in the description below. Code WILL for 5% off. Here's the sculpted one. This is actually $360 plus shipping for the sculpted one. As far as these photos, I mean, honestly, this still looks really great. There's all the same stuff as far as I'm aware. There's that head sculpt with the sort of balaclava look where you can pop that on and put the hood on him. I think that's cool too. But again, I think that kind of takes away from the value of the head sculpt and how good it is. So to me, it would be a cool thing to put, maybe take one photo with here and there, but I wouldn't be doing it forever. So there's the thumper, of course, the hands, the hookworms and all the other stuff and the accessories and backpack and all that stuff. So to me, you still get the mouse, which is great. Muad'Dib, you still get him. So with the sculpted version, which is great. Everything looks the same to me as far as the sculpted, except you don't get the rooted head sculpt. So if you don't like rooted, this still looks really, really good. To me though, rooted is 100% worth it. I've had 3 different InArt figures now, 3 different releases. Pennywise, Gandalf, and Joker. All the rooted ones have been absolutely amazing. So I'm a big fan of it. But you guys, do what you think is best. But I would recommend giving rooted a shot personally. We were all a little skeptical, but at the end of the day, I think it ends up working out pretty well. So yeah, I think this is great. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear what you're thinking about it. Originally, I wasn't as interested in this figure before seeing Dune 2 with just Dune 1. I think there was not a lot of hype surrounding it. And I was like, yeah, Dune 1 was pretty good. I was going to get it for a review probably. But now that I've seen Dune 2, this is a keep figure. This is a figure that stays in the collection because I am really excited for this one after seeing Dune 2. I love Timothée Chalamet. There was a film he was in called Call Me By Your Name. That was the first time I'd seen him. That's just an awesome movie. So that was really good. And, you know, of course, obviously, I haven't seen the Wonka film, but Dune 1, he was great in. And there's been other stuff here and there, too. What was that one he was in where the world was ending with Jennifer Lawrence? You guys have to remind me. I had Leo in it. That was great, too. So yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know whether you're picking up this figure. Again, check the description for more info. And yeah, it's just a link I've been provided. There are no kickbacks whatsoever. Just putting that out there, being crystal clear about that. So just trying to hook you guys up where I can and get you to, you know, get a discount if you do want this figure. Do not buy it if you don't want it. But if you do want it, by all means, do your thing. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out. See you later. Bye.